Kia ora, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, you are here today because the mighty All Blacks will have their first match of the Rugby Championship this weekend against Argentina at home at Wellington. This will be a monumental test for the All Blacks as they prepare to go head off to South Africa in their next, I guess, head-on-head two-test series against the Springboks in South Africa. So yeah, they have to work out all the kinks. There was a lot of issues coming out of the England game for the All Blacks, and there has been some adjustments that has been made in the lineup to kind of maybe offset some of those issues, brought in a bit more experience in the sense of Beauden Barrett in the starting position out of the 15 jersey. And yeah, we'll have to see if that's going to work against Argentina as they build towards the big test matches that is ahead of them. Argentina came off against the French series, 1 win, 1 loss. The first game was very rusty. Second game looked much better for the Argentinian sides, albeit against the French B, maybe C team, some people might argue. And but regardless, the Argentinians have improved over the last couple games, and yeah, it is going to be a testament this weekend against the All Blacks without the support of Michael Cheika as well. So Felipe Contempomi has basically taken everything by, taking everything over as the head coach, and we'll have to see this weekend if that's going to make any difference to their performance against the All Blacks. So yeah, the history between the two teams has been pretty much one-sided. The Argentinians has had 2 wins overall under the Ian Foster, Sir Fozzie era. There was one in Sydney in 2020 during the lockdowns where both teams were playing in the neutral venues. And then the big one, this is one they're probably most proud of, is their win at Christchurch. This was the first time they, not just the first time winning in New Zealand, but this was an absolute monumental occasion. And this was, yeah, under the watch of Michael Cheika, they kept the tie, stayed disciplined, and something of a, it was almost like a miracle that they pulled out of this one. So they have to put up a performance just like that, and maybe also catching the All Blacks a little bit off guard, a little bit out of the elements to probably win this one this weekend. It's going to be very difficult to repeat this feat here in 2022. The referee on the field this weekend will be Angus Gardner. He's an Australian referee, probably the best referee in Australia at the moment, and he's going to be probably has a bit of an advantage in terms of law interpretations for the All Blacks. There has been a bit of a law change going into this game as well. There was 4 big laws in particular. Obviously, they have added the shot clock for all the games. Big change, literally changing the shot clock actually. So they've actually added shot clocks for scrums and lineouts as well, which is 30 seconds. And the big one is the conversion. It's normally 90 seconds. They have reduced that down to 60 seconds, which is the same time that is allocated to kicking a penalty, which is also 60 seconds. So I have a little bit of adjustment there, and we'll see if that's going to affect anybody. I hope Damien McKenzie doesn't take too long to smile. He has a very long build-up time to his goal kicks, so that might affect him a little bit. We'll have to see overall how that's going to turn out. Outside of that, the halfback no longer be able to contest them anymore in the scrummaging. The halfback has to stay behind the tunnel, so they can't follow the ball and try to tackle the opposition halfback as soon as they pick the ball up. So they can't do that anymore, so a lot more protection to the halfback. I think that's going to play into the advantage for the All Blacks because they like to roll that speed at the breakdowns uninterrupted and just be able to build faces after faces after faces to keep that sustained pressure. We'll have to see how much that's going to come into play, but I do think that is definitely an advantage to the All Blacks. And line-out throws, crooked, also are not going to be penalized, short-arm penalized, unless the opposition contests. So that's a Super Rugby law as well that they brought in for a while. Finally, that's been introduced, and I don't like this one, to be honest. I think that just makes bad players look better. And then finally, I think there's one more. Finally, yeah, the 20-minute red card, the big one. 20-minute red cards will be introduced for rugby incidents after TMO review, and there's still full-on red cards in the case of where if you strike somebody or if you abuse the referee verbally, you will be sent off a full red card, which means you cannot replace the player after 20 minutes, and it's all your team are left with 14 players for the remainder of the game. So 20-minute red cards as well, just to clarify, can only replace You have to replace a player that's been sent off for 20 minutes, so they can't come back onto the field. And yeah, I think a lot of you New Zealand fans already know this. And finally, the weather, quite chilly in Wellington, 13 degrees. I think the main thing is the wind. Wellington has always been a place where the wind has been an issue. It's been an issue even for the All Blacks. So the All Blacks had a pretty average run at Wellington. I think they won like 1 game out of 7 or something in the last 7 or 6. Really, really poor. They have draw with the Wallabies, draw with South Africans, lost to South Africa here. So yeah, they really wanted to look at snatching that bit of a losing streak this week against the Argentinians. But they got the Wallabies coming up later this year, so that's going to be another one where they really don't want to lose. So yeah, building towards that is really important as well. So the wind is an issue even for the All Blacks. It swirls around the stadium. The stadium is built like right next to the bay, from my understanding. So there's a lot of wind that just comes in through the bay area. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea to build a stadium there in the first place, but yeah, it's a swirling wind and it makes it very difficult for kickers. And yeah, and it's just that's gonna be a factor again this weekend. So let's have a look at players, look at lineup. Let's have a look at who's have the privilege to represent their nations in this monumental occasion. So coming in for the New Zealanders, Ethan de Groot, I am Groot, coming in at number 1. Cody Taylor, number 2, and Tyrell Lomax, number 3. These are the veteran setups for the All Blacks since the Rugby World Cup. I do think that Tyrell Lomax might not be the most informed as he was last year. I think Tossie might be a better option here for the All Blacks, especially if they wanted to do like a running, attacking style. But in terms of scrummaging, if you want to just hammer down on scrummaging, these 3 players are your go-to front rowers. They're absolutely brutal. And the scrummaging will be an absolute dominant factor this week because the Argentinian scrums has not been that good against the French. Thomas Gaggio coming in number 1 for Argentina. He has struggled in the French games. He's one of the best players in terms of running the ball, but just not really that clinical in the scrummaging. I think he's going to have a lot of problems under the pumps from Tyrell Lomax. Ignacio Ruiz has come in at number 2 ahead of, what's his name? The captain. Oh God, I just blanked out on his name. But yeah, he's coming in at number 2, getting an opportunity. Is he injured? What's his name? I can literally see his face in my head, but I can't remember his name. It'll come to me in a bit. And Eduardo Bello gets that number 3 jersey once again for Argentina. So yeah, the scrummaging, I see it pretty one-sided affair for the All Blacks. To be honest, they dominated the English, and Argentina was struggling under the French B side. So I think this will be just this could be a very brutal weekend for the Argentinians. Coming in the lock position now, a bit of a change for the All Blacks. So 2 injuries to the All Blacks. So first off, Scotty Barrett is a finger injury, and then we've got Patrick Tuipulotu also had a bit of a calf injury, I think he has. So both of them were out. So Tupuvai gets to start at number 4, and Sam Darry, who was caught in against Fiji, gets that number 5 jersey. I do think that Sam Darry actually looked better with the lineouts, to be honest, over Scotty. At the moment, Scotty has been injured for the whole season, look a little bit out with his timings. So yeah, so Sam Darry is definitely a good option here. Franco Molina comes in number 4 for the Argentinians, and Pedro Rubulio will be coming in for the number 5 for Argentina. Franco is a bit of a new addition to the Argentinian side. How that's going to pay out, we'll have to wait and see. Coming in at number 6 now, Ethan Blackadder gets his first shot with the All Blacks jersey at number 6. Number 7, Dalton Pavali'i, and Adi Savea gets number 8 jersey this weekend. So it's interesting to see number 6 gets caught in ahead of Samapeni Finau, and someone who's really physical. Is Finau injured? But Ethan Blackadder has been in and out with injuries as well, but when he did play for the Crusaders, his stats were outstanding, so it's really good to see that he gets a nod out of number 6. Dalton Pavali'i as well gets number 7. Sam Kang, I think he's available to play, but he's not selected. And number 8, Adi Savea gets the captaincy there. For the Argentinians, Pablo Matera will get the captaincy at number 6 jersey in the open side position. They play open side at number 6. And number 7, Marcos Krima, someone who's just big physical body, physicality. He has control of that emotion, not to get himself sent off this weekend, hopefully. And number 8, Juan Martin Gonzalez, another big body to just back up that physicality in the loose head battles. Coming in for the backlines now. TJ Pieranara returns from his little hyperextension on his leg. He is good to see that he's good to go. Coming in at number 9, Gonzalo Butrano gets number 9 jersey once again for Argentina. And number 10, this will be the big difference between the two sides. I think Damien McKenzie coming in number 10. Damien McKenzie is someone that has being really, really good in Super Rugby, and he struggled without the guidance of Beauden Barrett. So as a result, they have put Beauden Barrett in number 15 jersey to give him a bit more guidance. And when David McKenzie are not overwhelmed with decision making left and right, he looks very, very good. He's more crisp with his passing and more crisp with his decision making, whether he wants to run the ball or he wants to kick the ball or whether he wants to, you know, make a play with his back line is much better. So just having Beauden Barrett to come in as a second playmaker out of 15 jersey to organize some of the attack lines for Damien McKenzie, or, you know, without Damien McKenzie, really makes the job a lot easier for D-Mac. Santiago Carreras as well. I saw some of his play against the French teams. He's okay. The accuracy, I think, is a little bit lacking in some parts, but yeah, this will once again be a bit of a challenge for him. And I do think that he might be goal kicking this weekend because Emiliano Boffelli is injured and was a normally goal kicker, so I think he might be one kicking. Correct me if I'm wrong there. So I did see him kick at least a couple goals against the French game, but yeah, wasn't the most. Yeah, I think it wasn't the best. I think Malia was kicking as well against France. But yeah, it was it's definitely a bit of an issue for the Argentina when it comes to goal kicking. D-Mac has been pretty high percentage for himself. Coming in number 11 jerseys, Mark Talea and Mateo Carreras, both are very good. Carreras had I think has a decent season in Europe. I think it was in France. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is he in France or is he in? Was it in? Anyway, he's definitely in Europe somewhere. And then we've got Jordy Barrett coming number 12 and Anton Lennon-Brown finally earning that spot in number 13 jersey. This is another change that I've been calling for since the English Test series. I thought Rico Ioane just hasn't been in form in Super Rugby, and he's shown again. Wasn't really in form against the English. And I think Anton Lennon-Brown is much better. He's very good under the high ball. He's improved a lot in that. His rush defense is absolutely outstanding for the Chiefs. One of the key reasons why the Chiefs were able to get into the finals because of his rush defense. So that'll play out this weekend. Really good. I'm very happy for him to get that spot. Jordy Barrett, also a guy that does a bit of playmaking, less so under the All Blacks. Current setup, he does a bit of a playmaking. He was pretty much the playmaker for the Hurricanes for the season, but we'll have to see how he plays. He needs to bring up a bit more physicality. I think he's lacking a little bit of physicality in terms of attacking and defense. I think he needs to bring that up a little bit more if he wants to, you know, he wants to really solidify that 12 jersey once again for himself. And number 12, Santiago Chocobares, playing in France, definitely for Toulouse. Really good player, and I think he normally plays 13. Correct me if I'm wrong, and he's been moved to the 12 jersey. And Lucio Cinti gets a number 13 jersey next to Choco Bares. Coming in number 14 now, Matias Moroni for Argentina, and Sevu Reis had an outstanding season. Hasn't really showed that for the All Blacks so far, but we're looking forward to seeing him open up some of the opportunities for the All Blacks this weekend. And finally, in the fullback position, I've already talked about, Beauden Barrett will be the second playmaker. We'll be holding Damien McKenzie's hands and keeping him in track and keeping him focused and not overwhelmed. Maybe Damien McKenzie has ADHD, because that's basically like the signs of someone with ADD is that if there's too much things going on, they get overwhelmed and they just not able to perform. And I think that maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. And yeah, I mean, just having him fewer things to think about really keeps him focused and not being distracted. And Juan Cruz and Malia has been really good for Argentina for a number of seasons now. Really good under the high ball. And yeah, we'll see how he goes this weekend against the veteran Beauden Barrett in that kicking game. That Beauden Barrett has been lighting the All Blacks on fire. In fact, single-handedly winning the games against England coming off the bench. So yeah, massive again this weekend for him as well. Coming in the bench now. The All Blacks bench has been the best bench in many years. Has been outstanding, and once again, whether it's intentional or unintentional I think definitely intentional by, you know, the coach Scott Robertson. This bench is once again really just absolutely stacked with talents, and a lot of these players I feel should be starting if it was up to me in the All Blacks setup. And yeah, I think it's starting to become more and more clear that this is the direction that the All Blacks is going, to have the bomb squad sort of set up, like the All Black squad on the setup on the bench. And it's yeah, this is going to be brutal. This is going to be where the All Blacks potentially blow the game apart in the second half of the game. So Asafo Amua comes in number 16. One of the best runners in the Super Rugby. Ofa Tuanga Fasi coming number 17. A guy who has significantly improved on his stamina, in his ball handling, and on his defense for the Blues. Really good to see it on the 17. Has always been incredibly good in the scrummaging. Fletcher Newell, absolute monster guy, young guy for the Crusaders. Number 18, scrum dominance, defense, outstanding. Probably not much of a ball runner, but it doesn't really matter. He's a tight head prop. I mean, just make his tackles and win the scrummaging as much as you can. Anybody ask from a tight head prop, and he's just outstanding. Absolute tremendous machine. Augustine Creevy will be the veteran coming off the bench, 16. I don't know how much minutes he's going to get. Maybe 10-15 minutes. Maiko Vivas will get a number 17 jersey for Argentina. And Joe Scalvi, the veteran now, will be staying at number 18 jersey. But I do think that the young guns for the younger players like Fletcher Newell will destroy this Argentina front rowers in the second half in the scrummaging. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Josh Lord has been added into the team to injury cover. Again, someone that has been, a lot of people has been asking for him, a young guy. A lot of future promise for the All Blacks. Gets an opportunity here at number 19. Efrain Elias coming 19 for Argentina. Wallace Satiti gets that shot for number 20. My goodness, this is the guy. He's going to be the future for Addis Avea's jersey. And again, I'm surprised that he wasn't starting this week ahead of maybe Ethan Blackadder in the blindside flanker position. But yeah, this is again just pure power, ball handling, speed, and just size. Really matters for him to come off the bench to make that impact play. Thomas Lavanini has moved down to the bench, maybe in preparation for the All Blacks squad. By the way, the Argentinians has opted for a 6-2 setup for the bench as well. So Thomas Lavanini, normally the starting player, has been moved to the bench, maybe to try to offset some of that power coming off the bench for the All Blacks. And Joaquin Oviedo is coming number 21. He's also placed number 8. So an additional loose forward here for the Argentinians. And for the All Blacks, Cortez Ratama, someone who's been really good for the All Blacks. I was actually surprised he wasn't starting, to be honest. I thought TJ Piermont might be coming on the bench. But yeah, Cortez Ratama had really solid performances in the last couple of Texas matches now. And again, he gets the bench nod on the bench ahead of Finlay Christie. Number 22, the Rico Ioane will be coming off as a finisher. We'll see how that goes. I'm surprised. I was actually probably more interested to see maybe Caleb Clark as an option here. Like I said, the impact play from Rico hasn't really been there, but we'll have to see where they wanted to put him. Maybe even like a fullback or something, like, you know, Steven Perifeta here. But yeah, interesting to see that the center as an additional option here for the All Blacks. Latrano Bazavelas will be the halfback replacement for Argentina. And finally, the long-awaited return, the guy that drew the biggest crowd in the provincial rugby union game over the week was Will Jordan. He's been injured the whole season, so really good. Looking forward to see where he's gonna play. He's probably gonna be fullback to replace Beauden Barrett. That's looking like going to be the plan, to see if David McKenzie can ride the bike without the support wheels, right? So Will Jordan will come on most likely at a fullback, and that's the position that the Crusaders has traditionally liked to play him for, instead of, like Fozzie like to play him on the wing. But for Crusaders, his fullback is outstanding under the high ball in catching the ball, and defensively, I saw just outstanding player. And as a winger, his talents are really underutilized as a winger, to be really frank with you. And Scott Robertson really favors him in the fullback, and we'll have to see if he's going to be playing. How long he's going to play, we'll have to see. Maybe, hopefully, he gets like maybe 30 minutes, and really give him a good run, a good feel as a partner in crime next with Damien McKenzie, because these two players are probably going to be the future 10 and 15 setup for the All Blacks going into the Rugby World Cup. So they really need to get that, ironed out, nice and crisp for in the next few games. And in fact, the next 2 games for this team. And finally, Thomas Abranzo comes in number 23 for Argentina as an additional fly half for the Argentinians. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your predictions for this game. I think the All Blacks should win this one quite easily, and lots of key areas to look out for, as we already mentioned. And Argentina, I think the front row battle is going to be very tough. May have a bit of an opportunity in the back line. And yeah, especially if Beauden Barrett comes off and there's a bit of a clunkiness between Will Jordan, because he hasn't played for a long time, and what's his name? Damien McKenzie, again, without Beauden Barrett, might fall off the wheels. So yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. But I think that the All Blacks should win this one quite comfortably. 35 points to 18 is my prediction. So let me know your prediction. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys for the reviews on the weekend. Cheers.